And we're back. This is Wild Treasures, getting you in touch with the black mamba, who are known to lie still like a puff adder when they sense danger, but they are always ready to strike. Black mambas are vicious, unpredictable, and they are always ready to strike. Should someone get bitten by one of these, the best thing to do is get the victim to the hospital.
First thing is that people panic, and you shouldn't panic. When you panic, you speed up the circulation, etc. So I know it's difficult to say don't panic. People, when they get bitten, they think they are going to die. But here's the fact of the situation. 25 people per year die from snakebite in South Africa. Your risk of dying is actually very small. Right? If you look at lightning strike, your risk of dying from lightning strike is 10 times greater. 250 people get killed by lightning every year in South Africa. Lots of our snake bites, there are 4 snakes in Southern Africa that cause 90% of snake bites. Okay, puff adder, night adder, Mozambique spitting cobra, stiletto snake. These snakes have a venom that's mainly cytotoxic. It causes pain and swelling. Right, with those bites, you want to remove anything that will cause constriction. Rings, bangles, watches, take them off. A bite on the foot, remove the boot or the shoe, because there's swelling going to take place. Right, you want to keep the victim still. Right, movement will spread that venom. So keep the victim calm and transport them to hospital. Right, if you get to a hospital in 1 hour's time with any of those bites, it's plenty of time to treat that victim. It really is. Right. The neurotoxic bites are more dangerous, but they are not as common as the cytotoxic bites. And they require more specialized treatment. With those bites, you want to immobilize the victim, you want to banish the bitten limb to obstruct the lymphatic system so that it helps in preventing the venom from being absorbed into the circulation. Right, so that will be an aid with a neurotoxic bite.
Even though snakes mostly avoid humans, they do somewhat end up in places that can pose a threat to us. Similarly to Dr. Rolf Sorensen, a retired entrepreneur whose encounter with a snake led him to starting a business that imports snake handling equipment.
One day my wife said to me, there's a snake in our garden, and we're right in front of a dam in the security village. And that was a surprise to me. So she said it's probably not a dangerous snake, probably just thirsty. And I said to her, well, there's a dam in front of us, there are frogs, there should be plenty of food. I don't know why it's coming inside our internal garden. And we tried to get hold of somebody to catch the snake, and the person didn't turn up, didn't answer the phone. So I tried to catch the snake with a rake and a spade, and he came for me, and I didn't even know what snake it was. I've never caught a snake in my life. Fortunately, I got off better than the snake did, but then I did get hold of Nature Conservation, who came here, and they told me it was a 1.5 meter Mozambican spitting cobra, and that my dogs wouldn't have had a chance. So I said to him, well, what do we do when we have a situation like that? You know, you don't want to shoot a snake, and you're not allowed to shoot in the city. So he said, no, you get a thing, it's called a snake tongue. I had no idea what he was talking about. I'd been retired for 4 years and enjoying life. And then I said to him, where can I get one of these? At the pet shop? He said, no, it's too specialized, the pet shops don't sell these things. So he showed me one that was very worn, that he'd used for a long time, and he said he could get me one, and the price, of course, was very high. And I asked him why, and he said it's aluminium, it's rust-free, it's imported, and all that. So when he had left, I said to my wife, there must be a lot of plots around all the cities, and game ranches and all these places that have snakes. So what can I do to maybe help the environment? And so I did a bit of research, and I signed up with a company overseas that would supply snake catching equipment.
Snake handling equipment is readily available to the members of the public, but it's always best to get training first from companies like the African Reptiles and Venom, as some of the venomous snakes, like the mambas, require handling training, as they are quick and dangerous.
In 1999, there was a contract to supply snake venom for the anti-venom unit. I was one of 3 that submitted a tender, and mine was accepted. So I then signed contract to supply that venom. I started collecting lots of venomous snakes, and very soon I had lots of people coming here to ask questions about snakes. And that led me to do training. So I do two things. I supply the snake venom, and I also do training. I train people how to identify snakes, how to treat snake bites, and how to safely capture venomous snakes.
The removal of snakes is always best instead of persecution, and with the kind of equipment that Rolf sells to the public, it can be done in a safe manner for both the individual and the snake.
Right, this is what they call a 40-inch snake tongue. It's a 1 meter snake tongue. It's probably the most popular shape and length that you get in the world. Some may be 900 millimeters, slightly shorter, but this is a very, very popular tool, and it's easy to handle. I mean, it's easy to use. Now, if you don't know how to use a snake tongue, you can go for a snake handling course. Of course, I've got nothing against snake handling courses. It's good to have it. Whether you need it, well, you must decide whether you need it or not. But I mean, it's a very easy to use a snake tongue. You clamp him just behind the head so that he can't bite. And then you use a snake hook, which I'll show you. We've got one. Here's a snake hook. These are the two most popular tools that I use. This one you use to lift his body, so that you don't lift him in his, around his neck. Just lift his body and put him into a bucket or into a bag or a transportation tube. So these two tools are the essential parts that you really need. We do also have what they call the gentle giant. There are some people that want to use this. They feel they might not hurt the snake easily with this. The problem you have with this is you've got to press very, very hard in order to restrain the snake from actually slipping out because of the wide opening that you've got at the front here. We've got the snake, same one as this one here, but in a 1.8 meter. It's foldable, it clips loose here, and this is what I call the mamba catcher. I mean, if I had a mamba close to me, I'd be very scared because I don't have the training, and I would certainly want to be far away. Even a spitting cobra, I would probably be very careful. But this one got the snake bag, which is the one that you let the snake go into and then just pull it tight so he doesn't get out. Always have the snake, the glasses with, just in case it's a spitting cobra. And then this is, of course, the one that I mentioned where we transport the snake. So this one, you put the snake in here and you just screw the cap on, and you can put him on the seat next to you in the car and transport him a couple of kilometers away. What's also nice about this one here is you can actually, if you're out in the veld, you can take your tools and you can put the tools inside this one here, just like that, and you can just throw it over your shoulder and you can go and do your snake hunting or whatever, and whenever you get a snake you can use this and put him inside here and just carry this loose.
Most people's natural instincts when they come across a snake is to kill it, but calling a professional snake catcher to remove and relocate the reptile is safer. Although mambas and most snakes in general are not endangered, they still play an important role for our environment.
Extremely important role they play. Remember, there's a lot of different pests out there. Now, a pest becomes something if it's in abundance in a certain area, or it's an overuse of different resources. So snakes help us to control rat and mice infestation that can also carry Yersinia. That's a threat to us as humans. They can help us control bird populations, even insect populations. And some of the snakes are cannibalistic, so they will prey on other snakes to help to keep the numbers in the areas in the correct balance as it's supposed to be in ecological systems. So snakes mustn't be killed just because it's a snake. They do play an extremely important role. If we take snakes out of the environment, we're going to sit with thousands and thousands of mice that's going to come into our house, they're going to eat our food, they're going to carry diseases, same as insects, same as birds. So we must respect the snakes and let them be.
It's also never a good idea to chase a lethal snake like a mamba, as one never knows what it will do. Actions such as those often end up in a lethal bite, and one can't blame a snake for trying to defend its life.
We might not think it's an important role, and we want to destroy them because they are dangerous, but they do play a role in nature. So people, often when I do training, especially in other African countries, they say to me, so what's the use of these snakes here? So I say to them, if I go into the bush and I find lots of snakes, okay, that tells me something. It tells me that this environment is healthy. Because if it's not healthy, there won't be any snakes there. So that means there's lots of snakes, there's lots of prey items, there's lots of other things for those prey items to live on. It means that the plants are healthy, everything is healthy. It's a healthy environment. It's an indicator of how healthy the environment is.
In cases where you are not equipped with the right tools to remove a snake and you are unsure of the type of snake that has invaded your place, it is best that you get in touch with someone professionally trained.
Well, they're part of our ecology. You know, they must have their life, and there's plenty of space in South Africa for snakes. We mustn't invade their territory. Unfortunately, they do sometimes come where our foods are, because they want our foods, they want our chicken eggs and all that type of thing, and we must just be very careful how we handle them to try and get them to a safe place. And I'm told that if you move a snake a couple of kilometers, he probably won't come back to you. You know, just don't move him a block away. Take him a couple of kilometers away and then you should be safe.
Although snakes are dangerous animals, they do play an important role in our environment, and it is our duty as the general public to take the right precautions when we are in an area with a high snake population. My name is Stefanie Jansen van Vuuren, and it has been my pleasure bringing you this episode of Wild Treasures. Till next time, cheers.